Betts right here in LA. Player of the Year candidates nationally. Warren Betts has UCLA out to a 20-0 start. Number 1 team in the country. Juju Watkins also top 5 with USC, almost 25 points per game. So we're 3 rotations through. The floor party is coming for UCLA, their best event. It has been for a long, long time here at Pauley, with Beam coming up for Michigan State. That's what UCLA did on the beam. They did drop that 9.050 on the fall, and they go 49 even through that 3rd rotation on beam. Michigan State with a good showing on vault, a school record, the best score we've seen across the country this year. They lead this meet into the final rotation. Yeah, I agree with their head coach, Mike Rowe. They still have a lot of potential on floor. I want to see in future meets in UCLA, not quite the potential we know they can do on beam. They have a lot of strong beam markers. Couldn't quite get the job done for there. It's gonna be a really interesting last event. UCLA's best event, their highest scoring event. They always put on a floor party. Curious to see how Michigan State's gonna handle the pressure on beam. Before that, Janae with Coach McDonald for UCLA.
Coach, you mentioned that you wanted to improve performance quality on the beam. Your beam team has amazing confidence, but a few little hiccups. So what are you going to focus on this week to improve that beam score?
Yeah, you know, it wasn't quite the beam rotation we were hoping for, but there was a lot of aggressive moments. I thought performance quality was much better stepping up this week. So, you know, we're just ready to turn the page from what just happened on beam. We're going to go put on a floor party and finish this meet out strong.
Speaking of floor party, y'all raised the bar. You really set the standard. So what are you focused on at getting into that last event, because you guys are just so good?
Yeah, you know, I told the girls we want to be really aggressive in everything we're doing, be present in our landings, and really put on a show, perform for this audience. The crowd is great. The energy in here is amazing. So we want to finish this meet out strong and with the UCLA floor party.
And it's alumni weekend, and you mentioned that that's kind of the focus of this meet was just to honor those that paved the way. Can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah, you know, we are just so honored to be writing this next chapter of the program that has so many incredible athletes, incredible alumni that have just really laid the foundation of success for us. And so we're excited to be performing for them today, and of course you as well. And you know, just really honored that they're here in the room giving us their energy and their time, and it's just been really fun to get to reconnect with them.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck on the last event. Back to you, Connor.
Janae, thank you. A great Q&A with the alumni yesterday, including you, Sam. Got to share your wisdom with the current Bruins. After Michigan State went on the floor, went 4.93. It was Nikki Smith with a 9.9 leading the Spartans. So back here before the floor party, Sam, Connor, we're again pumped to be here. This is the first ever gymnastics meet on Fox. What surprised you so far? Anything stand out?
Well, lots of personalities. First 2 events were really strong for both teams. I thought Michigan State could have improved their landings on floor, and UCLA could have had a bit more solid beam routines. They have a lot of potential there. So last event, pressure's on. See who wants to win here.
All right, for people back home, this floor party, it's being spread across the country. The word's getting out.
Yeah.
What can we expect being here in the gym?
Well, the choreography is so fun, and the way these athletes perform their routines, it's like they're professional dancers, honestly. So the crowd gets involved, the teammates gets involved, and I think we'll see if the judges get involved here today too.
Yeah, 12 national champions individually for UCLA. This is not a recent thing. This goes back to the early years of Miss Val and her choreography in this UCLA program.
Yeah, it's really a staple of this team to perform from start to finish as if you're on a stage. So just enjoy and notice the difficulty as well throughout this routine.
Shea Campbell, one of the leaders for UCLA on the floor. She's the glue for this team. She's an 8-time All-American and a former Pac-12 floor champion.
Yeah, she's so fun. Really becoming an expert with choreography, that performance factor really permeates throughout this UCLA team.
BJ Das is the assistant coach that handles the choreography. Has danced with Beyonce, Pink, and Usher, and has done a terrific job in her time at UCLA. That's coming up next, the floor party from Pauley. Can't wait. Daytime for UCLA. The crowd gets jacked. during this event. The fourth and final rotation coming for UCLA. And they need a big finish, Sam, down 7/10 as we go into this final rotation.
Yeah, they're going to want to do their best, and they're also going to hope that Michigan State lets up a little bit on beam, because right now they're winning by more than a fall, which is significant here on this last event.
Michigan State has won 11 consecutive Big Ten meets. UCLA in their first year in the league, trying to win their first ever Big Ten championship this season. So on beam for Michigan State, that's where they close with what could be the most competitive apparatus of the night. Both teams are top 10 in the country, and Michigan State at 8th, leading it off with the California native, Gianna Khalifi.
Michigan State has some depth on this event, so they've been able to play with the lineups a bit, helping people swap in, swap out, who has the highest scoring potential. There's no offense and defense in this sport, but there is strategy in how you develop your lineups and who you put in which position. Very important.
Emily Lee, we've talked about how steady she is on some of the other events, especially on beam as the leadoff. She'll also lead off UCLA on floor. They are second in the country. Oklahoma, the only team with a higher average score this season in women's gymnastics than the Bruins.
And you're going to see it's just because the second they walk onto the floor, they look comfortable. They engage the crowd.
Khalifi, the first up from Corona, California. Back-to-back season highs.
She's a fifth year. Oftentimes teams put their most experienced athletes in this position because it's just so important to set the tone for the rest of the team. Back handspring layout. Triple series, crooked, but able to save it. You get to this point in the routine and then you just want to get off. It's a hit routine so far. She's had to adjust on a couple of skills. Gainer full off the side, stuck landing. They are on their way. Really good start for Michigan State.
And her homecoming, a bunch of family and friends here from Corona today. Khalifi leading it off for the Spartans.
Your toes are just gripping the side of the beam, helping you stay on.
There's the Khalifi family. Bunch of tickets went out, literally on the railing and on the edges of their seat.
I gotta be honest, that's how I feel watching these beam routines. I get so nervous because I'm not in control of whether they make it or not.
It's got to feel that way as a parent. I'm sure your parents are back home going, uh-huh. We know how that feels when Sam was competing.
And here we go, pick it up, please.
Emily Lee gets the floor party started for UCLA.
Head coach Janelle McDonald says their secret weapon is clean landings, and they don't have a lot of built-in deductions. they're hoping to start on floor for their last event.
A decision UCLA had to make who they wanted to lead off. They go with Lee this weekend.
Double pike, 2 flips in that pike body position. Strong lunge. No deduction for that 4-inch mat. I think sometimes it causes more problems than it helps, but athletes use it to have a softer landing. Season's long, you gotta keep those bodies healthy throughout this whole season.
Between Lee, Rosen, and Webster launching for UCLA, and Lee gets the leadoff call. Now Michaela Tucker, who hasn't competed on beam yet this season.
Yeah, I asked, why is she in the lineup this weekend? And they said, you know, she can just jump up and nail a routine at any time. That's probably the ultimate compliment you could give any beam worker. A lot of the skills these athletes do on beam, they've done for years and years. So it's not what I would consider hard, but what's hard about this event is to be able to control your emotions. Oh no. It's very uncharacteristic for her. This is going to be a good test for Michigan State. Remember, they're allowed to drop 1 score. They're hoping this is the routine to drop. But that means pressure on the rest of the lineup.
A little crack in the door for UCLA, needing to make up 7/10 into this final rotation after the fall for Tucker.
Yeah, she didn't go very aggressively for this side aerial. Watch the back foot. She never plants it. So she's trying to land on 1 foot. You don't get extra points for that. It's actually just so hard to do because her upper body did not continue to move to that finish position. And right after you do it, you're kicking yourself because you know what could have fixed it. But everything happens in such a quick amount of time.
Emily Lee went 9.875 for UCLA. Now Alabuyo coming off her best floor performance of the season last week. She went 9.925.
Look at the student section. They actually know some of the choreography. So not only are they cheering, but they're supporting in other ways too. Love to see the Carlton. Oftentimes, Alfonso Rivero, he comes to these meets. Him and his wife are fans. Fun, and this is where the party really gets started. It just heats up from here.
Alabuyo with the second routine on the floor, just getting started for UCLA with the Olympian for Team Philippines.
Janelle was right. These landings are looking really solid. Her front foot doesn't move. That's really what the judges are paying attention to. Michigan State got dinged for that on their floor routines.
Students dancing along with her. Waiting on that last beam score for Michigan State. Tucker took a fall in her first beam routine of the season. Michigan State came into this final rotation with a 7/10 lead, trying to win their 12th consecutive Big Ten dual meet.
Good look at associate head coach Nicole Jones. Head coach Mike Rose said she's a beam sergeant. She always puts them through the ringer, having them do really tough challenges, assignments, makes them completely out of their comfort zone to prepare them for moments like this.
That was turned around yesterday. She put her own routine on the floor.
She did. She did. But not only is it tough to go after a fall, but having to wait, you have sort of a routine before the routine. Things that you think about, your mental preparation, the way you get chalk right here. So if it's taking a long time, you kind of got to move and start it all over again. Really good test for this Michigan State team.
Malabuyo picked up UCLA. Now Nikki Smith tries to do the same for Michigan State.
It's moments like this that are make or break moments for a team. And you're hoping that Nikki is not thinking about any of this right now. Good athlete to go up because she won beam at regionals last year, actually qualified individually for a spot at nationals. Solid back handspring layout. Doing a good job managing those nerves. Continuing the rhythm on this routine is important, but here is a big moment. Hardest dismount, NCAA round of double back. So impressive. Coaches say she sticks it about 65% of the time. Most teams in the country won't allow their athletes to do that dismount because it's so rare to stick it. And to do it with so much pressure, a lot on the line for Nikki Smith. She's not scared. Round off, double back. Look how high she gets off the beam. 2 flips before she lands, and she sticks it. Incredible.
With the poise of somebody that competed at nationals last year. Remember, Mike Rowe said their mantra is it's time to be in the final 8 this year, being in the Sweet 16 a couple of times in the past few years, trying to break through nationally. That's a moment you bank. Right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's actually better to have a mistake and watch how your team responds, and Michigan State's doing a great job of that.
Macy McGowan won a level 10 national championship on floor. Now a freshman for UCLA.
Opens tough pull in. Solid landing. Sometimes it takes freshmen a few meets to get comfortable performing with a crowd of this size, but not Macy. interesting. That's sometimes tough to do. They're on a roll now on floor.
She has saved her best routines on the floor for the Big Ten. Maryland and Illinois, 9-9 and 9-8-7-5 for Macy McGowan.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling well earlier today, but you couldn't tell by this routine.
Next on beating Michigan State,
Not much to deduct there. That's going to be a good score.
UCLA trying to make up some ground in this final rotation. Nikki Smith with a good bounce back routine on beam. For the Spartans went 9-8-7-5, which tied a season high. Now Olivia Zarmani tries to build on it.
Nice front toss into a back handspring. One thing this team has worked a lot on is rhythm. And the reason why that's important is because if you move too fast, sometimes you can get ahead of yourself. And if you move too slow, then it's too much time to think. Oh, big mistake. Lifting her leg, but saves herself a fall. Finishing roundhouse 1.5. Great work sticking the landing, because they're going to need that score. Every 10th counts. They're really trying to make it interesting. They had it in the bag.
On their way to a clean win, but a fall and a deduction now on the wobble.
Yeah, that's a hitch kick into a switch side. Doesn't get her feet all the way back together, throws her off balance. But again, it's a good thing she did not fall, because that would be even more of a bigger deduction for Michigan State, knowing they already have to count a fall.
And in the bigger picture, too, Michigan State did struggle a little bit on the beam last week. Went 48-9-5. Some uncharacteristic deductions in there. You saw Ohio State. Now Brooklyn Moores, top 5 in the country on this event on the floor.
And you're going to see why. The performance quality is top-notch. No one performs better than Brooklyn Moores. So much emotion, so much intensity weaved throughout this routine. And the difficulty, double full punch front. Loves it. This could be a perfect 10. I didn't see any place to deduct. She had the difficulty. Her leaps were over split. I don't know what you can take. Double full punch front.
You saw that from Janelle McDonald on the bars earlier. bringing the energy for her team on the floor with Moore's out there.
And think about it. The harder she dances, the more tiring our routine gets. But you can't tell because she makes it look so easy. Perfectly timed. Round off 1.5. Coach wants a 10. We'll see if it's going to happen.
You seem to agree if you're judging. What do you take?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to know.
Well, certainly in contention for her first place finish at Pauley this year. Floor champion opening weekend at the Tri-Meet. Floor champion at Maryland a few weeks ago. Will we see perfection? And that score comes across. Here's Skylar Schulte.
Man, it's tough to do a beam routine when the entire crowd is cheering for Brooklyn Moore's score. But if there's one athlete you want to be in this position, it's Skylar Schulte.
Can just come in as a 9.975 for Moore's.
That means a 10 from one judge. Coaches say that Skylar Schulte and Gabby Steven have the best mental game on the team. That game from Lau. They need a big hit from Skylar right now. She's moving through this routine nicely. Curious to see how the judges are going to score that. That was excellent.
Janae, what did you see? You're in the mix when Moore's score came in.
Oh, and the other gave them a 9.95. Yeah, so one judge gave her a 10.0, and a lot of the teammates started jumping up, getting excited, and the other judge gave her a 9.95. So her final score is a 9.975. So she was just short of perfection today.
Almost. Well, the good news for UCLA and their fans is Shea Campbell's coming up. She has 3 perfect 10s in her career. You still could see one today.
Yeah, I said no one is a better performer than Brooklyn, but Shea Campbell is just as good of a performer as Brooklyn Moore's. You're in for a treat. Opens, tough full line. Too easy. It is a floor party, and everyone's going to be even more excited if they see a perfect 10. And I got to be honest, I didn't see where to deduct. Where do you take? Check it out. She's got the difficulty. Tuck full in, 2 flips, 1 twist. Spotting the ground, which is how she's able to keep her feet planted special details. Moments like this where you zoom in, and it's just every detail of this performance is well-intentioned.
She was that close. Back-to-back routines. Brooklyn Moores went 9.975. It's been a little under a year since that last perfect 10. She did it against Clemson last March. She goes 9.975, which, again, one perfect 10 from one judge and 9.95 from the other.
I'm curious to see those routine summaries on what that judge is taking.
It was the opposite judge, too. On each of those routines. There's Gabby Stephen on the beat.
Yeah, tough moment for Gabby Stephen to do this beam routine. Came in to this last event with a significant lead, and they don't quite have that anymore. But Gabby Stephen is one of those athletes. Coaches say her leadership, tenacity, grit, her talent, she is the entire package. So having Skyla and Gabby back-to-back here is really crucial. No movement. I saw little soft knees on that back handspring layout. Looks like she's feeling the pressure. Just slightly lift those wobbles. Gotta get this stick. She does it.
NCAA Regional Beam Champion a couple of years ago. A couple of 9.9s this season for Stephen.
Crucial moment for Gabby on this dismount roundoff. 1.5 twist. Excuse me, double twist. No movement with those feet.
The grand finale. Olympian Jordan Childs, the 2023 floor national champion before she took last year off from college gymnastics to train for the Olympics, where she won a gold medal with Team USA. And this, the gymnast, a lot of people have come to see here tonight.
Yeah, she's so expressive. This routine is fun to watch. Coaches say she does her best when she's loose and having fun, so we'll see what she brings to the floor today.
On the edge of perfect 10s, back-to-back routines on the floor, and here's Childs.
student section wants a 10. The gymnasts want a 10. We'll see if the judges searching for here in this last rotation. Front tuck into a double back, and compared to her Olympic routines, these skills and tumbling passes are so easy. She can just let loose, have fun.
Some suspense for you both in the meet, and will we see our first 10? No suspense. She nailed it.
That's what the judges were looking for. Nothing to deduct. Huge moment for UCLA.
Second perfect 10 of the year. First on bars, now on floor for Jordan Childs.
The school record on floor is a 49.875. They're close to that, 49.8. Not quite a school record, but man, that is a huge number. Start to finish, it's just so much fun. Watch her facial expressions throughout this routine. Such a performer. She's a natural performer, but they also work a lot on every single movement in the gym. It's such an area of focus for this UCLA team, and you see it show up in competitions here.
In the end, it becomes her flu game, her flu beat. Wasn't feeling her best yesterday, didn't have her best on bars today, and sent this place into a frenzy for this routine.
A lot of gymnastics fans think that judges have been a little stingy with their 10s, but 3 10s have been awarded in season so far. Jordan Childs has 2 of them.
Confetti went flying, the 10s went flying from both judges. Second of the year for Childs after she went perfect 10 on bars at Maryland a few weeks ago. What a way to cap the first ever gymnastics meet on Fox. We got more to come for Pauly right after this. The final rotation was down 7 tenths. They go 9.975, 9.975, and a perfect 10 from Jordan Childs to win this meet by a 10th. An incredible comeback, an incredible showing with their floor party, and she, Jordan Childs, is with Janae Honest right now.
Jordan, you were not feeling well yesterday. You didn't go to practice, and you ended up winning the meet for your team and ending it with a 10. How were you? What was your mindset? What was going through your mind, and how did you show up for your team?
Honestly, I just took my mindset back to 2017 when I've had the flu game, as if anybody knows. I was sick. I had 104 fever, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to forget that in the past. I'm here as a team. We're going to go out there and do everything that we need to do.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Great job. Back to you, Connor.
Something about people named Jordan in the flu game, taking it back to 2017, and a perfect 10 for Jordan Childs to win it. We really appreciate you tuning in for our first ever gymnastics event. For Sam Pescick, Janae Honest, I'm Connor Onion, saying goodnight and thanks for watching.